It's Friday, it's just after lunch. Ian and I have, as you can probably tell, treat ourselves today. We've come out for dinner, or come out for a well-earned lunch, taking a little us time, kind of a date night, but just not at night. So we've come to one of Ian's favourite places. So he's just had a huge steak sandwich, and I've just had the beer battered haddock with dessert, of course. So Mum and Dad are looking after the boys. We dropped the boys off this morning, around about 9 o'clock this morning, and we've been out just done a couple of errands that we needed to do today. Been over to neighbouring city called Halifax, not the one in Nova Scotia, the original Halifax, for a meeting there this morning. So we were finished up there with our meeting at about 11:30, so we thought we'd stop off here and have a little light lunch, but there was nothing light about that lunch at all. You're limping?
Yeah, mate.
I thought it might be because you're so full.
Really fully tummy. Yeah, very nice that.
Absolutely, definitely worth it.
Oh yeah.
So it's just gone 5:15 on Saturday afternoon. The Mission Inspiration launched okay today at lunchtime, which was all scheduled and all done anyway, so I didn't have to intervene with that at all. But I've spent the day doing, can you tell, filming other projects today. So I've managed to get a couple done, started editing and putting the videos together, created all the thumbnails, all that kind of stuff. And I'm quite happy with the way everything looks at the moment. I've just got to add some pockets onto some signatures, get the signatures sewn in, and then that's it. The entire journal is complete and done. And then I can start to think about releasing the videos. So far, it's 9 parts, but could go up to 10. Depends whether or not I do an extra video with extra ephemera. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. Time will tell. So there's been a delivery. So apparently this is a present for me from Ian because I wasn't able to go to the asylum and I have no idea what it is. So it's very light though.
It doesn't weigh anything at all. Well, it weighs something, obviously. If it didn't, it'd be floating in the air.
I don't know what's in it. So,
like a little subtext to this. Mike loves anything to do with Star Wars.
Oh, that just gives it away then.
How can it?
Well, no, but I thought, is it flowers or something like that inside?
How's it going to be flowers?
Or something to eat, like chocolates?
It's a bloody big box
Well,
of
why couldn't it be
chocolates.
flowers?
I'm not buying you
Could be nice
flowers.
arrangements.
Could be a lovely arrangement.
You used to buy me flowers. Let me get it out. No, don't show.
Okay.
Let me lift it out. Okay, so I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Always have been. But I also really loved the Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon series, which the new Ahsoka series is kind of like a continuation of in live action. And there's one of the little animals in the cartoons that's now been brought into real life in live action that I absolutely adore in the programme.
It's called?
It's called a loaf cat.
Oh, he's lovely. Oh, he's bigger than I thought he was going to be.
Absolutely adore him. I'm not a cat person, but I just love these loaf cats. Oh my goodness.
Turn him round. So put him on the worktop. Then we can have a look at him.
And it's not for you, sweetie pie. No, it's for Daddy. Just how gorgeous is that?
Look at his little tail. Official merchandise
Yeah.
from Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Because they did actually the first time that they did one in live action
With your hands, thank you.
was on The Mandalorian.
Yes, it was.
And then, of course, because they're native to the planet Lothal, which is where Rebels is set. But look at
I don't know who's got a bigger smile, him or him. Oh, hang on. Or him.
He's not for you, baby. No, he's not for you. Bentley, no.
No, come on, baby.
Which means he's not going to be... We're going to have to keep him somewhere out of reach of Bentley.
Put him on the shelf in your office.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to move some stuff though. Oh, he's absolutely adorable, Ian. Thank you so much. Absolutely lovely.
I've got cramp and I have to get up now.
It's Monday morning, 4th of September. The kids have gone back to school today, which means relative peace and quiet during school hours while you're trying to work, which is nice, which we haven't had for the last 6 weeks. But it's been a bit of a frustrating morning this morning. I've had an issue with the software that I use for editing my YouTube videos. iMovie has just been playing up today for some strange, unforeseen, ridiculous reason. No matter what resolution you import into iMovie, whether it's 1080 or 4K or whatever, it will only give me the option of exporting it in 720, which is rubbish. Which is not what you want. So, and I've inspected all of the assets, the intro slides, the individual pieces of video, just to make sure that they were filmed in high definition, which they all were. So I've had to download a new piece of video editing software today. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to try DaVinci Resolve and see whether I can get on with it, if you like, whether or not it's improved anything from the last time I used it. See, iMovie was a really good option for me because it was simple. You literally just dragged your video in, you arranged it, you put your transitions between your clips, you added your music and your little on-screen pop-ups, and then you selected the output size that you wanted, and then you were done. Easy as that. No frills, because you don't really need loads and loads of frills. All right, pop-ups are nice and all that kind of stuff, and clever tricks are nice, but we're so used to seeing them now that they're no longer special. Anybody can do on-screen pop-ups from home now. It doesn't look, although it does look professional, people aren't impressed by it anymore. And when people aren't impressed by special effects, then they become ordinary, they become normal. I mean, we watched last night, the new Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and that part of the movie where they whip off the bag from off Harrison Ford's head to reveal that they'd aged him or de-aged him about 50 years. We went, oh, look at that. Can't really say, I mean, it was impressive, but we're just kind of used to that thing now, that kind of stuff. So although it was, oh yeah, look what they've done. Yeah, look, they've done the thing with his face. We weren't kind of like shocked and surprised and, oh my God, how have they done that? Because we know how they've done it. So yeah, so back to software for video editing software. Most people who watch YouTube videos just want to watch for the content, not for the special effects and the bells and the whistles. So that's why I've always resisted buying or using really expensive software when I don't really need to. But anyway, like I said, this morning it's not behaving itself, so I'm going to have to try and see if I can manage with the next level up, at least, because apparently DaVinci Resolve is kind of like the next step up in video editing. Not that I'll probably use all of its features. I shall probably only use the features that I've been using in iMovie. So both Mum and Dad are in very chipper moods today. So all the grocery shopping didn't take that long. Excuse the bumps. I've just got to nip to the post office before going home for lunch. Crikey, this road is very bumpy. Due for another haircut, I think. There we go. Now I've finished preening and primping myself. So I can't remember whether I mentioned either early this week or maybe even in last week's vlog, and that Mum, now that she's reached the ripe old age of 82, and she has obviously difficulty with her breathing, she's got COPD. So she can't get up and down the stairs as free and easily as she used to do. And upstairs is where her craft room is. It's a 3-bedroomed house, and the smallest kind of little room at the top of the stairs is where Dad's got his little workbench where he does all his little leather work, where he makes his little leather pouches and that kind of stuff that he used to sell. So he used to do that as a hobby, paid hobby. He's made hundreds of the things for quite a few of the secure hospitals. Anyway, he's not doing that anymore because of his stroke. So he wants to get rid of some of his leatherworking tools and equipment, but also Mum's craft room, which is the other side of the room, which is the accumulation of about 15 years worth of craft purchasing. So she started card making after I did, or after me and Ian did. We started doing it around about 2008. And because she saw what we were doing, she didn't really have a hobby. She started doing it as well. So from that, she'd started collecting. As you do. But now she's decided that she wants to clear the craft room and get rid of everything. So, and she wants to do it now rather than later, if you get my drift. So I've started to clear some of the stuff out of her craft room and started making a dent in that. There's quite a lot of equipment in there as well. There's a full Brother scan and cut system in there, which I think she's probably only used like twice. And they were like, when they were new, they were like 600 quid. And she's hardly ever used it. We used to have one, but I wasn't all that impressed with it, so we sold ours. So I'm gonna have to try and deal with that somehow. But there's all of her card making equipment. So there's hundreds of stamp pads, just like I've got. So she's got loads and loads of distress ink. She's got one of those plastic caddies from Stampin' Up, which is full of Stampin' Up inks. It's one of those caddies where you can just twist it, and you can get access to all your different coloured inks. And they're all still viable, they're all still juicy, they're all still wet. So I don't particularly just want to just give them away. This is the craft hoarder in me. I'm like, well, I don't want to give them away, I want them for myself. I used to have quite a lot of Stampin' Up stuff, but I didn't do a lot. I kind of drifted away from card making. I still do the odd little bit, but not a huge amount. But anyway, I digress. So what I'm going to do is I'm slowly going through all the stuff, all the kind of materials and stuff which are not really useful to anybody. They're too old or they're dried up, all that kind of stuff are all going into the bin, where I will recycle where I possibly can. Paper pads, that kind of stuff, will all get donated. Any ink pads like this sort of stuff that are still viable. There's Memento ink pads in here, there's Stays On, there's VersaFine, they're all still viable. So I'll probably end up donating those to one of the local old folks homes, because I know they do have craft sessions and that kind of stuff. But I've got to work out, I've got to go through everything first of all to make sure that it is still working. So the task that I've set myself this morning, see this? This is a basket full of alcohol marker pens. These are the Letraset Pro Marker twin tip alcohol pens. And I've counted them, and there's 84 in here. So what I've got to do is I've got to go through every single one and make sure they're all working. And the ones that have dried up are no longer viable into the recycling because they're plastic. And the ones that are still viable, I shall put into a storage container and I shall donate, because I've already got a lot of alcohol markers that are still okay. So yeah, so that's my job for the next hour and a half. It's Tuesday, 3:30 in the afternoon, and yes, I'm sat in the dark. It's a case of having to, really. It's sunny today, very, very sunny today. We've had temperatures up to 85 Fahrenheit, which is about 25, 26 centigrade here in the UK, which is unusual for us, but we're not used to it. I know it's not unusual for, you know, like Australia and Arizona and America and that kind of stuff, but for us it really is. And the dogs, bless them, I've had to bring them in from outside. They were sat outside and they were just panting and panting and panting, so I've had to bring them in, close the patio doors, shut the blinds to stop the sun coming in. I've had to close the blind in my office, and I can feel the heat from the window on my hands here. So my computer is sat where my phone is hooked up where I'm recording now, and I can feel the heat from here just emanating from that blind. It's just ridiculous. I've put an electronic fan on the landing to try and get some airflow for the dogs, just to try and cool them down. They're both laid on one of the beds in the shade. Nipper's laid on the floor where it's coolest, because obviously heat rises, and I've got the fan blasting down at the floor as well, so just to try and keep them cool. And I've been working all day today. I've been in here filming Spooktember videos, and I've made some very good progress. So out of the 10 videos for the journal, I've just got one left to do, and that's the literal connecting of the signatures into the journal spine. However, I don't know whether or not I can stitch. I may have to turn it into a traveller's, because there's so much in the journal, it's cram-packed already. It might not fit, so I may have to do remedial work on that, but I'll have to wait and see. But as for the other projects, yeah, coming along nicely, thank you. I'm having loads of fun. better. All twisted. So it's Wednesday morning. It is the 6th of September. So tonight I'm going to launch the first of my Spooktember videos, but I've filmed them in such a way is that they're not kind of numbered. So all the projects that I've filmed so far I can put up in any order that I fancy, really. I've got another one to film this afternoon after I've got back from running my errands. But that's a project that I'm going to be doing with Ian. So we're both doing a Halloween project together, which is going to be fun. So looking forward to doing that this afternoon. So this morning, with it being Wednesday, I'm going over to see Mum and Dad, take Mum to do some grocery shopping, and also for me to stock up on doggy bits, because the doggies are running out of essentials, and by essentials I mean treats. They've got everything else, they've got plenty of their ordinary everyday food, but it's just they're running out of treats, really. So I need to grab some of those. Ian's asked me to pick up a parcel for him from one of the local hardware stores, which is on the way to Mum's. So I'll do that before I get to Mum and Dad's. I don't have to go to the post office today because all the website orders, everything is up to date and done, which is marvellous. So it's a pretty free and easy day today. Right, I'll see you later. Will do. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.